Hey guys, I'm Caitlin from Leave Me Alone Plants, and today we're going to be going over everything you need to know to take care of your beautiful corkscrew rush. Now, if this is the first time that you guys have maybe ever seen one of these plants, maybe you're just doing your research to try and figure out if it is going to be the right plant for you. As you guys can see, these plants have this crazy, curly, corkscrewy, like their name suggests, foliage on them. And the other half of their name, the rush, corkscrew rush part, it comes from the fact that, they kind of look like a grass, but it's actually not. So rush is going to be a type of foliage that, unlike a grass, which is, flatter, it's going to have this more round, cylindrical style foliage. So that's a little backstory on this guy's name. Now, as for where these guys are found natively, they're actually found in Japan. And I always think it's really important to, kind of figure out where plants do come natively from so that you can have a better idea and make sense of what their care requirements are. So I think something I talk about in almost every plant that I discuss is, be sure to have a well-draining pot, be sure to have well-draining soil. And while that typically is the key so that you are not worrying about things like root rot, in these types of plants, these are going to be one of the exceptions. So these guys like to be in more of a boggy, almost swampy type area. And in fact, if you guys have like ponds at home or some kind of water feature where you have plants around it, you can actually stick these guys right in there and they'll do super well. So seriously, don't let the soil dry out. I can say this from experience. When I first moved out here to Arizona and I was kind of adapting to how to take care of plants in a new climate, one of the mistakes I did with the first corkscrew rush that I did, which, rest in peace to this guy. Sorry guys, disclaimer, I have killed one of these before. But one of the problems that I had with that plant was I, didn't want to overwater it, so I would let it dry out in between waterings, and these guys just got real crispy and just dead looking, and, ultimately it didn't quite work out. Now, if your plant does get to that point where, it's just crisped up and it needed water that it didn't get, you can actually just completely cut these guys back and new growth will sprout out of them. I just opted to, get a new plant, but completely up to you guys. They can be saved, but if you want to keep them healthy from the start, then definitely give these guys water because they're thirsty guys over here. Now, these guys will tolerate full sun, which is great if you want to keep them outdoors, but you can also grow them in less lighting situations. Obviously, the more light that you give them, the faster they're going to grow, and just the thicker and better the foliage will look. Of course, with the exception, I live here in Arizona, so I always think it's worth saying if you have crazy bright, intense sun like we have here, don't be scared to take it a little bit out of the sun, but these guys do well with a lot of light. Now, in terms of propagating them, so you can't exactly just, come in here and snip off one of these little sprouts out of here and, propagate it up and be good to go. It won't root up like that. But, the easiest way to do it, in my opinion, is to grab the plant out of its pot or, dig it up out of the ground and just divide it up into, multiple segments. Now, like some plants, you'll see that these guys are going to have these like tubes of water that they hold inside. I forget what's the actual name for it? Rhizomes is what they're called. So, those are going to be those kind of little bulb-like things at the bottom of the plant that the roots grow out of, and if you just grab a section of those, then you can actually just separate the plants from there and have multiple different bunchings of corkscrew rush. That is all I have for today, you guys. Thanks so much for checking out this video. If there was questions that you had about this plant that I didn't answer in this video, of course, drop them in the comments down below, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.